look at the opportunity for us to build a business, there's never been a bigger and better time. I asked Marc Young to get on the phone with us today for a couple reasons. One is, Marc and Vanessa have built a solid business, a solid base shop. And the thing that I love about what he does is making $400,000 a year, but are still out personally producing, personally recruiting, personally engaged in running and building their base shop. And they have a unique situation. Why? Because they're in our hierarchy, but they also, his upline retired and left the business, and Omar Arpesa bought that code. So basically what he has is he's got two uplines. He's got our hierarchy with the Meyer hierarchy, but he also has Omar Arpesa that they share an office together. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, solid fundamentals. And Omar built his whole business without using the opportunity meetings. He does it with recruiting people, one-on-one interviews over the kitchen table. And I think that's a great way to build a business, in my opinion. We should be adding op meetings and doing one-on-ones over the kitchen table. And I think what happens is, because what it does is it gives people confidence to have people plugged into a meeting. But they've done a phenomenal job. I think they'll do over 100 recruits this month in their base shop, and all their guys are doing is doing one-on-one interviews. And I had him come in and do a training in our office in Bonita Springs. And one of the things that he did, which was awesome, was he had a step-by-step fundamental process. We're also going to be recording this today too. Okay, but I want you to sit back and listen to the terminology he uses, what he uses, how he uses it, and how he takes people through the process. All right, Marc, are you on with us, buddy?
Hey, Keith, how you doing?
I'm looking good, buddy. Love the hairdo, man. Talk to me, bro. Welcome. Good morning. I figured, hey, listen, I did a meeting for you on Wednesday night. So
yeah.
You owe it. So look forward to hearing from you this morning, but man, you're going to utilize Doris as the interview process, right?
Yes, sir. All right, perfect. So yeah, I'm excited, man. So pumped up, fired up. So yeah, we thank you again, Keith, for coming to our office or zooming in our office on Wednesday night. It was awesome. Got a lot of feedback from it. Everyone's focused right now on doing 100 recruits this month in the hierarchy, so we're jacked up. So Doris, are you there, young lady?
I'm here, Marc.
All right, how you doing?
Awesome.
Man,
good morning.
Man, you're in fuego. You're in fire, as they say.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna get right to it for time purposes, and I'm basically meeting you. You were referred to me from a friend of mine, and we're meeting at a Starbucks, let's say, or even over Zoom, let's say, because right now we're in a Zoom environment, and Zoom's not going anywhere. So, okay. So Doris. What kind of work do you do? I know Keith was telling me a little bit. I wasn't sure what kind of work you do again.
I'm a customer service in an office.
Customer service. Okay, awesome. And where do you work?
New York.
New York. Okay, awesome. And how long have you been working there?
About 9 years.
9 years. Wow. Do you manage over people, or are you just working under somebody else?
It's an agency. I'm not a manager of anyone, but I'm one of the lead person in that department.
Okay, awesome. And so with what you do, I know Keith was talking. Said that you're a super people person. That you're married. Your husband has a business, right?
Yes.
Right. And you have two little girls, right?
Correct.
Yeah, not so little anymore, I know, but so awesome. And so he said that you might be looking to do something maybe 5 or 10 hours a week on the side. So that's what I'm looking for. Some people part-time, but maybe you can transition into it full-time if it's something you're interested in.
Oh, absolutely. I'm open to hear it.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do is explain a little bit about who we are, what we do, and if it makes sense, probably because you're married, I'm assuming you'd want to get his input. If if you decide you want to do it, I'm sure you'd want to get his input about it, wouldn't you?
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yes.
So I'm going to get into it, and so this Zoom thing, it takes me a couple seconds, so give me 1 second here, and I'm going to explain to you who we are, what we do, those type of things. And can you see what I'm looking at here?
Yes.
Okay. So you see the 4-pager presentation? Or I'm sorry, you see my presentation? Yes. Okay, you don't know what the 4-pager is. And so what I'm gonna do is I've been doing this business about 20 years. I started doing it part-time, And what I really liked about, the first thing I really liked about it was that it was super, super flexible. Okay, so when I got started, I was working full-time in my job, kind of like you, customer service. I was actually dealing in the computer world. I don't know if you remember Y2K, but that's when I was doing that. And I was making good money. I was making almost 6 figures doing that. But I was always looking to do something else, and I always wanted to learn more about money. So have you ever been interested, Doris, in like your 401k or how your investments work or anything like that? Have you ever been interested in something like that?
Always curious about it.
Yeah, I wanted to learn too. I didn't know anything about money. I was broke actually. And I knew that if you learn more about money, you'll always have money. So I wanted to really learn a lot. The third thing, which I really liked about the business when I saw it, was the business part. I know you said your husband, or I heard your husband has a business. Have you ever thought about doing your own thing also?
Not really, because I didn't know how, and just afraid of taking a risk.
Okay. Well, in business, what we do is in business, I wanted to have my own business because, you know, they say it takes money to make money, right? So Primerica said that if I do the right things, I could eventually have my own business, and that's what actually ended up happening. But I mean, if you could be your own boss, stay at home with your girls, would that be something you'd want to do?
Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I didn't know this would be turned into a business. I mean, I started part-time just to learn and make some extra income, and 20 years later, we paid over $4 million. So it's a really good opportunity.
That's awesome.
Now, you said, and I don't know, I know we talked on the phone a little bit, but you never heard of Primerica before?
No.
No. Well, we've been around since 1977, and we have over 5,000 offices. So we're a big company. It's kind of like a franchise, like a financial. And speaking of franchise, we're actually the largest largest independent financial company in North America. So if you add up like Aflac, New York Life, MetLife, you add up all those companies, it doesn't add up to how big we are.
Wow.
Big company, yep. And we're the New York Stock Exchange. So, you know, when the stock market's up and down and all that, we're part of that. And we have over 7 million clients. And that's all through word of mouth. Doris, I met you through Keith, you know, so referral, so meaning that everybody we have as families that we help is all through word of mouth. Pretty cool, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Now, our mission, which I love, and number one, you'll see it here, is to earn more money. So I'm looking for people that want to make an extra $1,000 to $2,000 a month part-time. And so think about it, Doris. If you can make an extra $2,000 a month part-time, would that help you? I mean, what would you do with an extra $2,000 a month?
A lot.
Right? So that's how I started, and I was able to use that money to pay for my wedding. So, I mean, everyone has different goals when they start with us, but that was my goal, to make extra money. And how we do it is we teach people how to get properly protected, debt-free, and financially independent. That's a pretty strong mission, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome. Now, how we do it is we teach people how money works by doing a financial plan and offering services through Primerica. Okay? And I always like to explain who we are so you don't think it's Mark's Financial Service.
Right.
Which would be kind of scary, okay? So now, very scary, especially if you knew some of my friends. So now, basically, you know, today's financial challenges, there's a lot of financial challenges that people have. The biggest challenge that people have is not too much money. Okay, that's not the problem, right? The problem is people have too much debt. So the average family that we sit with has an average of about $16,000 of debt. So that's not including student loans or car payments or mortgages. This is credit cards. Some people are higher, some people are lower, but the average is about $16,000.
Wow.
So we always ask people, do you have a written program to get out of debt and retire? And what do most people say?
No.
No. They plan longer for a vacation than they do their retirement.
Right.
Right? That's the problem, right?
I can relate to that, yep.
Yeah, we all can, right? Basically, what I'm going to do is explain to you some concepts that they taught me years ago. And this is actually the first thing that recruited me into Primerica. It's the first thing that I saw. okay? And ask me questions about it. By the way, you don't need to be good at math. If you're great at math, that's awesome, but you don't need to be good at math here. This is the most math you need to know. Okay, good. Me too. Me too. So, and I always tell people, like, I don't know, did you go to college?
Yes.
Okay, you graduated?
Graduate with a bachelor. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm going to give you a virtual handshake. Because I visited college. I went, hey, how you doing? Actually, I visited 3 colleges, and I went, hey, how you doing? How you doing? And it just didn't work out. So I went, hey, how you doing? So, so the good thing is you don't need to have your bachelor's or master's. You can have all that stuff. It's great, but you don't need all that. The biggest thing you need to have is people skills, which I can tell you have already. So right here, the Rule 72 says you take the number 72, okay? You divide it into whatever interest rate you're getting, and it tells you how many years your money will double. So what's the average interest rate? Well, where do people save their money most of the time if they had a choice? Where do they save it?
In the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly.
So the average interest rate in the bank right now is what?
Less than 1%.
Yeah, if they're lucky, right? So
Right.
let's say they're blessed to get 1%, right? So if you take 72, divide that into 1, that equals what? 72. So
Right.
that means your money will double every 72 years.
Hmm.
So that means if you have $1,000, how old is your daughter now? One of them?
18.
18. So let me just think here. So in 72 years, okay, when she's 90, her $1,000 would become $2,000.
Wow.
Wow, it's awesome. That's crazy, right? And if your daughter's 18, by the way, you guys maybe can do this as a partnership or something, because we have a lot of mothers and daughters and husbands that do this, but we can talk more about that later. So basically, just to give you the numbers on it, if you got 4%, your money would double in 18 years. If you got 6%, your money would double in 12. And if you got 12%, 72 into 12 equals 6. So of course, we'd like the money to double quicker, right?
Right.
So now I'm going to explain to you a little bit more. Now you have a job, you said, and at your job, do they give you like a 401k or something like that?
There's a profit sharing.
Profit share. Okay. Well, I'm not sure exactly because every company's a little different, but traditionally in a 401k or an IRA, by the way, I didn't even know any about this stuff when I first saw it. I had a 401k at my job, and the way I picked my 401k was, hey, what did you do? Okay, that's what I'm going to do too. So that's, I didn't know much about. So I really wanted to learn because, like I said, if you know about money, you'll have money.
Right.
So example here, in this example, this client was putting $200 a month away for 37 years.
Mm-hmm.
And at 3%, they're going to have 162. At 6%, they're going to have over 300. And at 9%, they'll have over 700. Which would you pick? 3, 6, or 9?
Of course, the 9.
Of course, the 9. Everyone would. So what do you think the question people ask me when I explain this?
Where do you get 9%?
Perfect. That's exactly what they ask. And that's where I educate them about something called stocks and mutual funds. Have you ever heard of those before?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's usually what's in your retirement and your savings. And I didn't know much about it either, but I wanted to learn. And one of the licenses that we'll pay for you to get to learn about that is called the Series 6. Have you ever heard of that license before?
No.
No, it's kind of like, it's the license you have when you're a financial planner. So it's like, when you go to the bank and you have the tellers, the managers, then you have the guys with the really nice offices and they're in their suits and leather chairs and all that stuff. Well,
Right.
Those are financial planners. So we'll actually sponsor you to get that license if it's something you're interested in.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's great.
Have you learned a couple things so far?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit about stocks because you said you didn't know too much about them. And I didn't know a lot either, so I really wanted to learn. So basically, what would be, if I said to you a stock, let's say your daughter came up to you and goes, hey, mommy, what's a stock? What would you say? Like, what would be a good guess? Because you've heard on TV probably.
Company, IBM.
Perfect. Company. Yep. Stock is company. It's as simple as that. So when you own a company, and I'll use Apple, I like Apple, right? So if Apple makes money and you own that stock, what happens to your stock?
It goes up,
Right. And if that company loses money, what happens to your stock?
goes down.
You got it. So basically, owning one stock is like being in an elevator on the 100th floor of a building held up by one cable. And if that cable breaks, you're what?
Dropped.
You're in trouble, right? Better have life insurance or something. So now here, if you're another elevator here, and instead of having one cable, you have 150 cables. If 5 of them break, are you okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the difference between a stock and a mutual fund. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Right? And so when you own a mutual fund, you're owning many, many companies in one fund. So you might have Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Verizon, Disney, Walmart, Home Depot, ExxonMobil, I don't know, Best Buy, whatever. So every day the companies go up and go down, right? Every day. You hear on TV, up, down, up, down, up, down. But over the last 100 years, not 10 years, not 10 days, 100 years, they've averaged 9 to 12%. That's what they've averaged. And if you remember, that's when I was explaining about 9%, remember?
Right.
Okay. Now, as an investor, there's different ways you're going to invest. You have about 5 different types of investors. You have aggressive. That's for people that are, let's say, under 40, which you look like you are. Under 40, you can be aggressive and you can take risks. Now, when you get a little older like me, a little gray here, not that old though, but I want to be more in growth because I'm not old, but I'm not young either. And then as I get older, maybe my 50s, I want to be more moderate. As I go into my 60s, I want to be more conservative. And then when it's time for me to retire, I want to be an income because I want to, live off my money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, there's 3 places that you need to have your money put away. There's 3, okay? Number 1 is short term. That would be for emergencies, rainy days, corona, things like that. So, if there's an emergency, you need to have some, 3 to 6 months of reserves, right? The second place is a medium place where we'll say is that, maybe you're saving for a wedding, maybe you're saving for a long-term vacation, maybe you're saving by a house. So you want to have midterm money, right? Then the third place is long-term. That would be, retirement, college planning, things like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, there's 3 major benefits to owning a mutual fund. Number 1 is professional management. I'm not a manager, okay? I'm a broker. I sit with you there in Naples, New York, wherever you are, and then I'll sit with you. I sit with somebody else in Miami. I'll sit with somebody else. Like just this week, I sat with somebody in Georgia and New Jersey, all within an hour because of Zoom. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
So I sit with them, and whether they have $50 or $50 million, I invest their money for them. Now, I'm not the manager, though. A manager is a guy or gal with really thick glasses. That means they're smarter than me. And they're watching the money all day, all night, right? That's what they do. The second thing about mutual funds is that they're diversified. That means that all your eggs are not in one basket. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And the third thing about mutual funds is that they're liquid. That means that if you need to take it out, you can. But where you want to take it from is your short and midterm. Because if you take out a long term, you can get penalized. I don't know if you ever heard of that before, but that can happen. Okay.
Yes.
Now, so any questions about any of this so far?
No.
And like I said, Doris, we've been talking for about 13, 14 minutes. And have you learned a little bit about money already?
Oh, absolutely.
So what if we sat down for 20, 30, 40 days? I trained you how to do all this. Do you think you'd learn even more?
I'm sure.
Awesome. So now the next thing we teach people, because we want to teach people how to, get out of debt, save for the future. We also want to teach people how to protect their assets, okay? When I ask people what their biggest asset is, what do you think they normally say?
Their house.
Yeah, their house, their car. But actually, you and Danny are the biggest assets. Like you guys are the assets to your family. You're the one that works and brings home money. He brings home money, right? Without him working and you working, you guys are in trouble, right?
Right.
So how you protect that income, which is your asset, is something called income protection. Another name for that is life insurance. Does that make sense? People don't look at it that way, but that's what it is. It's just income protection. So the way life works, and this is a philosophy that we've came up with, it's been around for many, many years. But basically, it's a philosophy called the theory of decreasing responsibility. And what it is that in the early years, you might need a lot of coverage. Why? You have kids, debt, mortgage, loss of income would be devastating if something would happen. But in the early years, you don't have a lot of money. Why? Because you're just starting your life. You're just starting to save, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the later years, though, you better have what?
Money.
Because your kids are grown, you want to retire, lower debt, mortgage is paid. So now you need retirement income. So in the later years, you may not need insurance. So, and Doris, I don't know if you could tell, I'm a very simple guy. The easiest way to look at this is that you want money in case you die too young, but you also need money in case you live too long.
Right.
Pretty cool, right? And Primerica is the only company that actually, our goal is to make sure that by the time you retire, you don't need life insurance anymore. Where other companies, they do it a different way. We want to make sure you have enough cash, because if you had $1 million cash, do you need $1 million of life insurance?
No.
No, because you're what's called self-insured.
I never look at it that way.
Yeah, nobody does, but that's, we educate people on that. And I understand this a lot. My dad died when I was 14, and I had to quit school. That's why, the reason I visited 3 colleges wasn't that I was a degenerate. I just had to work and all these different things. And so when my dad died, he left us with nothing. And so when he died, I had to work 3 jobs, and we lost the house, lost everything. I had to take care of my mom. But if my dad would have been properly protected, life would have been a little different, But right. I'm okay. I thank God, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be, as passionate about what I do now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now, one of the licenses that will sponsor you to get, so it's a Series 6 was the one I talked about earlier. This one here is called the 214, okay? The 214. And I'm going to explain to you how to use it, but you'll learn a lot about insurance doing it. It's really a cool license to get. So how much do you know about life insurance?
Not a lot. I just know that I have a policy my parents got, and then my husband has one that I kind of referred him to get.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to teach you about it, because you might have one of these. So I'm about to show you, okay? There's 2 types of life insurance. One's called cash value, and one's called term. Cash value has many names to it. Whole life, universal life, variable life, get a life, herbal life, a lot of names, okay? And so what it is, it's insurance and savings together. Okay, that's how they sell it, insurance and savings together. And if you think about it, with your car insurance, do you have savings?
No.
With your health insurance, do you have savings?
No.
No. So why have savings with your life insurance? You can't live and die at the same time. But they sell it as a plan, right? So what they'll do is they'll sell you a policy, a $100,000 policy. Let's say you're 29 years old, right? That's a hypothetical, 29 years old. And they're going to sell it to you for $84 a month. Now, 84 times 12 is $1,000 a year in premium. Now, but this is going to savings too. So at age 45, if you don't die, there's supposed to be $10,000 in savings. And at 65, if you don't die, there's supposed to be $40,000 in savings. So looks like a pretty good deal. You have money if you live, money if you die, right?
Right.
Now, when do you find out how your car insurance works?
When I get into a car accident?
Right. So when do you find out how your home insurance works? After the hurricane, right? So when are you going to find out how your life insurance works?
When I die?
Well, yeah, well, you won't be here. Your husband will find it. You'll be an angel. You'll be an angel. That's an angel looking down, and you won't know. So here, I'm going to teach you how basically these policies work. And there's 4 rules that are in all these policies for the most part. The first rule, for the first 3 years, there's no money. So imagine you're putting $1,000 in every year for 3 years, and you call and say, hey, I need some money. There's no money. It all went to fees and commissions. Crazy, right? The second thing, the money grows at 1 to 4%. Now they invest it and get 9 to 12, like I taught you about in mutual funds, but they only give you 1 to 4. Second, third is the interest that, because let's say if you need money from it, like let's say after 3 years there's money that grows up and you want to use it. After 3 years you can get it, but you have to borrow it. So imagine you lend Keith or tell Keith, who referred me to you, to hold $1,000 for you, and you say, hey Keith, I need some money, and you go, yeah, that's great. I'll lend it to you, but at 5% interest.
Wow.
That's not a good friend, is it? Okay. Number 4 is if you pass away, your family does get the life insurance because, the death benefit, but you don't get the money. So if you pass away at these times, they get the life insurance, but not the savings. So it's not a good deal, is it?
No.
So, and we know that, and 80% of the people, Doris, this is why I need so many people, 80% of the people we sit with own this kind of stuff.
Mm.
So what we'll do is, instead of giving you for 84, we're going to do something for 34. And instead of doing it for 100,000, we're going to give it to you for 250,000. We're going to give you 150,000 more for less money.
Wow.
And with the $50 that I'm saving for you, what do you think I do with it? What do I teach you how to do?
Invested?
Yep, you got it. Into mutual funds. So now you'll have $150,000 to $200,000 if you live. So you have more money if you die, more money if you live. Does that make sense?
Yes.
For the same $84. And none of these rules apply. So if you need the money tomorrow, you get it. There's no, the interest is better. There's no borrowing. And if you die, your family gets both.
Nice.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So think about it. If you had friends that had this, wouldn't it be super easy to turn them onto this?
I think so.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why we're growing so much. That's why I need people.
Mm.
So basically, how we do everything is we use this old cliche, is that most people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan.
Mm.
Right? No one wants to retire when they're 90. Okay? No one wants to be in debt forever. They just never make a plan. So what we do is we look at all these companies that are taking your money that don't focus on you, and we focus on you. So what we do is we do a financial GPS. It looks at where you are now, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there.
Mm.
Okay, so example, if you're 30, 40 years old, you want to retire when you're 60 or whatever, we got to put a plan to get there. If you want to be out of debt, whatever the goals are for you and your family, okay?
Right.
And what do you think a financial planner charges to look at all that stuff? Like if they sat down with you for an hour and did a whole plan, what do you think they would charge you?
A lot. Thousands?
Yeah. But most people are broke. They're not going to pay $1,000, right?
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do it for them complimentary. It's a big word for free, okay? Now, we do get paid. One way I get paid is if you refer me, Primerica pays me a commission if I help you. You don't pay me, Primerica pays me. The second way I get paid is by referral. So if I did a great job for you, Doris, would you rather give me $500 or $1,000 or give me 10 or 15 names of other people I could help?
Names of people.
Yeah, that way I don't need to knock on doors, cold call. That's how I met you, through referral. We helped Keith and Danielle, and they referred me to you. So it's all through word of mouth. It's also customized, confidential to focus on your goals and dreams. Does that make sense?
Yes. Awesome.
I know it sounds like a silly question, Doris, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate your desire to be, debt-free, property protected, financially independent?
10.
10, 20. Okay, awesome. So I always talk about, Doris, when I'm sitting with people, I always talk about, are we doing okay on time, Doris? Do you have to go back to work or you're good for now?
A little bit, a few more minutes.
Okay, yeah, I'll be done in about 5-6 minutes at the most. So basically, we teach people about, our company, our concepts. The next thing I'm going to show you, because I hope you're interested in working with me, because I really need some good people like you. And, whether you are or you're not, I want to show you how we get paid. So even if it's not for you, you might know somebody else that it might be good for.
Okay.
There's a book that came out 20 years ago called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You ever heard of that book?
No.
No, okay. Well, I never heard of it either until I saw this, so you don't have to read it. These are the cliff notes, okay?
Okay.
So basically, there's 4 ways to make money in the world. First way is an employee. Your income is based on the position, not the person. So if you're a real motivated person, like you're a customer service person, right? No matter how hard you work, you still get paid the same, right?
Right.
But if you have another person next to you that doesn't work as hard, they get paid the same too. Is that fair?
No.
No, not at all. So if you're real motivated, that's the worst place to be in the world, because you never get paid what you're worth.
Right.
Self-employed would be like a dentist, a lawyer, hairstylist, real estate agent, doctor. The more people you see, the more money you make. The harder you work, the more money you make. Like I know some barbers, I don't use them too much because I don't have too much up here, but I know some barbers that they make $2,000 a week.
Wow.
I know some other barbers that make $500 a week. Why? Because one works harder than the other, or one has better service than the other, right? So when you're self-employed, it's great, but the problem is that if you go on vacation, you don't make any money.
Right.
So a lot of people confuse self-employed and business owner. Business owner means you don't have to be there and you still make money. That makes sense? You could disappear for 3 or 6 months and maybe even make more money that you're gone.
That's what my boss.
Right. That's the definition of a business. Like, example, you can be the barber, or you can actually own a barber shop, have 12 chairs. You don't even need to know how to cut hair. You can just have barbers renting the chairs and you can make money. I know guys like that. Right? Like a franchise, you have other people working. And then investor means you have so much money, your money works for you. You just live off your interest, okay?
Awesome.
So Doris, for you, what side appeals to you more? The left side or the right side?
The right side, business.
Good answer, good answer. So we're on the same page, we're talking good. So now, I'm gonna explain to you about our business, and I'm gonna use franchises as a good example, because in franchises, the good thing about franchises is that everyone knows the biggest one. It has a golden arches. What's that called?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. So here's McDonald's, here's the stores, and here's the employees, right? So McDonald's, store, employee. Who makes the most money?
The business
employee, the store,
owner.
McDonald's. Huh?
The business owner.
Actually McDonald's, because McDonald's is on top of the store. So here's McDonald's, here's the stores, here's the employees. Does that make sense?
Got it.
I mean, there's places, like I've been to New York before, my family's from there originally, and there's McDonald's on every corner in the city.
Right.
Right? So there's 38,000 or 40,000 McDonald's stores, but only one McDonald's. So they make all the money, right?
Right.
So let's say you and I worked at the store, McDonald's there on Broadway, and we want to go open our own McDonald's store. Do you know how much that costs to open your own store?
Millions?
At least $1 million. And there's a waiting list for that. So the chances that you and I are going to open a McDonald's store, probably not going to happen. No. And then if you want to become as big as McDonald's, that's probably not going to happen either.
Right.
And all franchises work this way. Even cars. I mean, look, here's Papa John's, here's the stores, and here's the employee. Here's Honda, place called Auto Nation, and then the employee. They all work the same way, right? I'm just trying to have you get to understand the concept. So real estate works, they all work the same way. So now here is Primerica. Primerica, we have something called reps or agents. Here we call them leaders or junior brokers, using real estate as an example. And here we call them VPs, vice presidents, or brokers. Who makes the most money?
VPs?
Yeah, because you have a lot of leaders that have a lot of reps. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But here's the cool thing, Doris. Someone like you, like me, could start part-time and within a few weeks move here. That's what I did. So you could be in a position to make money off other people making money, just like over here. And if you really like this, you can go full-time like I went full-time after a year, and my second year, I opened my own office.
Wow.
So you can go as fast as you want. You know, I'm a big fan of buffets, like all-you-can-eat buffets. Not right now because of Corona, but normally I like buffets, right? And the cool thing about Primerica, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet, but it's self-serve.
Nice.
So depending on you, Doris, if you want to get out of that, you know, or maybe not even get out, maybe just make $1,000, $2,000 a month part-time and have the ability to save for something or whatever. I mean, you have so many options. It just depends on what you want.
Good. Okay.
All right. So now I'm going to explain to you specifics now about money, okay? Because money's good, right? So we'll talk about how we make our money. And in our business, even though you said you really never really heard of Primerica, you might have heard of some of these companies before. Primerica, Legg Mason, AIG, Lincoln, Bright House. You've heard of some of these guys before?
Yes.
You ever heard of Forbes magazine?
Kinda, yes.
Yeah, they write about all the wealthy and big companies, and they actually in 2015 voted that Primerica is one of the most trustworthy financial companies. So it's pretty cool. They actually are financial. They rate financial people. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to give you an example of what we do for families when we sit with them, and using the example we talked about before. This is Bob and Sue. Okay, down here in Miami, it's Roberto and Susanna. Okay, depending on how you look at it. So they had $100,000 of life insurance on each, nothing on the kids, paying $300 a month. So we gave them, and that's really not a lot of coverage if you think about it. How long is $100,000 going to go?
Not long.
Not very far. So we gave them $400 each, covered their kids for $104. So we gave them 4 times more coverage for less money.
Right.
Gave them actually $196. Imagine if you sat down with 10 people and could teach 10 people how to go from here to here. How many out of 10 would want to do that?
All of them.
Yeah. Would you feel good helping that family?
Absolutely.
How would they feel about you?
They're probably going to like me.
Yeah. Would they refer you to more people?
Definitely.
Absolutely. So we teach people how to do that. And not only do you feel good, Doris, but your pocket will feel good too. So you'll make $580 helping one family. That takes you a couple hours. How long does it take you at your job to make $580?
A week and a half.
So if you could do it in one night, that'd be good?
That would be great.
All right. Now, you said you've trained people before, you said as a manager. So if you become a trainer, you can make more money. And if you decide to become an owner like me, you can make even more. Pretty cool, right?
Cool, yeah.
Doris, honestly, if you can do this for once a week, you can make $500 a week part-time. That's $2,000 a month part-time. That could change your life.
That's more than what I make now.
All right? So we got to get things started. So now, another thing we teach people is about investments. Remember, they have $30,000 sitting in a bank. Remember that 1% example I talked about earlier? Well, at age 65, they're only going to have $100,000. What we did is we rolled their money over, got a 9% interest rate. So, and with the money we saved them here, at age 65, they'll have $1 million.
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
Yes.
10 times more. Okay? And for doing that, if you did that, would they feel good after you helped them?
Yes.
Would they feel good about you?
Absolutely.
They'll tell more people, right? Just like Keith sent me to you. Keith and Danielle are really happy with what I did. That's why they wanted me to talk to you.
Right.
And as an entry-level person, look how much money you can make. Pretty good money part-time, right?
That's awesome.
Now, another thing, Doris, and I know you said you had kids and everything and a husband. A lot of people don't plan for the future totally, and some people talk about it, but they never do it. Have you guys ever looked into getting a will?
No, don't really understand how that works.
Okay, it's real important you have kids and assets and things, because if something happens, you don't want the state to decide for you what happens. So we have a service, it's like a legal insurance. For $28 a month, it does the will, living, it does everything. And it's like having an attorney on call. If your husband has a business, he definitely needs to have an attorney once in a while, right?
Wow.
So you're going to get licensed for this too and make a little money helping them too, part-time.
That's awesome.
I know. That's why I'm talking to you. That's why I'm screaming at you. So
Can I
now,
get my own?
yeah. Well, actually, you actually answered I'm about to ask you a question. Usually when I show this to people, three things are going through their mind, okay? Number one, they want to work with me part-time and make some extra money. Number two, they just want to be a happy client. Or three, they want to do both. What would you say works for you?
I would consider both.
Awesome. And guess who your first client's going to be?
Myself.
You. That's right. All right. So I'm going to explain to you, because I know you said you'd want to talk to your husband before you made a decision, and I actually want to show you how I do what I do before you make a final decision, okay? Because I know we're running out of time. So I'm going to explain to you the licensing real quick, because it's like unbelievable. So, oops, hold on a second here. I appreciate your patience. My technology here is a little slower than normal, but I'm making it work.
No
So
problem.
remember I talked to you about 2 licenses that we'll pay for you to get?
Yes.
The first one was a 214 license. The next one's that Series 6, the financial planner license. If you went on your own to get those licenses, depending on what state you're in, it can cost you up to $1,500 for all the fees, the SIE course, the life, like all these different things.
Wow.
So instead of you laying that, because that's what you would have to pay for those licenses, which, by the way, this is still cheaper than what it took 4 years of college, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. But anyway, a lot of people don't have $1,500 to pay for licensing, and we know that. So Primerica, as long as you qualify to work with us, we're actually going to pay for you to get all these licenses. We pay for all that. The only thing you got to pay for is your background check.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever killed anybody?
No.
Okay, good. You never know, up there in New York, New Jersey. But as a one-time fee, you pay $99, and that's normally what you pay, $99, plus $25 to be able to work from home, and especially now with Zoom, we're able to do a lot of things. But because of what's going on right now, we're willing to help sponsor you even more, and instead of paying $99, you have to pay only $49. So we're actually going to pay for more of your license for you, and with the new bonus that they have, you get back the money. So basically, you come aboard, you sign into an app that we have to put on your phone anyway, and you get $1 profit already for working with us. So we're going to pay you to get licensed.
Wow. That's
and
great.
On top of that, we have another bonus that you can be making while we're training you. So, and I'll explain more because I have to do an orientation and all that. But basically, do you have any questions for me right now?
No. How can I get started?
That was my next question for you. So we're going to set up I'm not going to do the idea right now, but and I'll meet up with your husband. We'll talk more tonight. Like, how's your schedule? Like right now it's 11 a.m. How's your guys' schedule today at like 4 o'clock?
Probably after 5.
After 5. Okay. So let's do 5:30 and we can meet on Zoom or whatever. And, through like the same way we're meeting, I can meet your husband, explain everything the way you see it now. And if he gives you the thumbs up, or maybe he wants to do it with you, like my wife decided to, then great, we'll work together. If not, then I'll start you aboard. And honestly, you already answered it, but how quick do you want to start making $1,000 a month part-time?
As soon as possible.
Awesome. So let's do it. Boom.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Virtual handshake. Mr. Otto?
That's great.
Yes. Thank you for being a great interviewee.
Mr. Young?
Mr. Otto?
Great job, buddy. Hey, couple things. One is the presentation that you did is just a 4-page presentation, correct? Or the 6-page presentation?
It's a 4-page presentation, and then I use something called a laminate. Yes, PDF.
You use the laminate that Omar and you guys put together, correct?
Right. Yep.
Okay. Because a couple people are going to ask me about that, and I'll get me a copy of that. I'll have it distributed out to our guys so they can laminate and stuff and get that done.
Yeah.
Because people are going to want to add that to that. We were using the deck, which is the big company flip chart where you can pick the pages out of it. They stopped producing that right now because it's got to go through compliance again. They reevaluate, I think, every 12 or 24 months. So the only thing to have out there right now is that 6-page or 4-page presentation. So you keep it simple to 4-page. I like the questions that you asked too, but the question I have for you is, in a normal situation, now you're using Zoom.
Right.
BC, right? Before Corona.
Before Corona.
You did the presentations one-on-one. Where did most of your one-on-ones take place?
Because we're in Miami and traffic's the way it is and what have you, I usually would.
Sorry, go ahead.
So typically it would be probably 70%, if I'm not doing a KT, 70% Starbucks and 30% my office, probably. 70%
Starbucks, 30% your office. How much would you say I'm going to come by the house and show you what we do?
If I know them, it's easier to do that. But what I find is that if I get a referral or a prospect or however I know them, I don't know their wife or husband that well. So it's always a little funny going into now Zoom has changed that. It's changed the dynamic on them, which is awesome. But normally if I met you, let's say if I prospected you at a Starbucks or something, and I meet Doris, for me to go home and meet her husband or vice versa, it was always a little weird. So that's why I always said, let's meet up for like a quick 20, 30 minute, how you doing? And then set up a KT if it's something they're interested in. Now, like I said, things have changed, but that's normally what I would do. Or if I meet them because we do our trainings, which is similar to an op. So if I would meet him on a Tuesday or Wednesday during the day and I have my training that night, I would just say, if it's something you're interested, come down to my training, check out, see if you want more info.
But your trainings are similar to an op, but they're not an op. So
similar to an op, but not an op.
Normally what you do in your business is you do a Wednesday night training, but you could bring brand new people there. It's not an op meeting, but you cover concepts, you sell the dream, you go work compensation, the 4 C's. Credibility comes up, right? And the close. Yep. But now, because of Zoom, which you never did, or you did early on, but you haven't done in years, opportunity meetings. And, you know, you and I have talked about this personally when you've asked me questions. I think what you just did is phenomenal. I just think in my challenge with that for brand new people, if I'm brand new like me, it took me 4 years to do an op meeting. I didn't have the confidence to go out and do what you just did on my own at first. So I would have you do it for me, with me. But I also think tying this, not taking away from the op, but adding to it, you could be doing ops all day long for people. And you don't have to wait till Tuesday night or Saturday morning or Wednesday and Saturday to do meetings. But now with Zoom, the presentation that you just did, you did the 4-page, you did the laminate. So you could, when you do that in person, if you're doing that with me at Starbucks, you're doing that on an iPad or you're using it, writing it out?
I use 100% iPad now. But for people that aren't technically into that, you can literally use you need a 4-pager, the laminate, and a yellow pad and a red pen or whatever, and you could do it that way. But with the iPad, you download a software called GoodNotes, 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 or Notability, but we prefer GoodNotes. And you can download the 4-pager, the laminate I use, or whatever you're using. Doesn't matter if it's whatever you're using.
You can write on top of it?
Yes. That's exactly what you saw me do now on this utilizing Zoom is exactly what I do if I was sitting with you with an iPad at Starbucks. Exactly what I do. Like,
okay, and those were good notes, by the way. Those are good notes. All right. And questions-wise, right? Tying it, other than them having a ton of questions, hey, how does this work? How does this work? Normally, from A to Z, you meet me at a Starbucks, and I know you got to hop on a call soon. You meet me at a Starbucks. How much time, how many minutes do you spend with me on a normal presentation?
Normal presentation, 30 to 45 minutes. Normal presentation.
Unless I have a bunch of stupid ass questions. But
that, or I'm building some good rapport, and we click, and we start shooting the crap about whatever. So, but what I do is I do this, and I kind of did it with Doris a little bit. I said, how much time do you have? Because I don't want the interviewee telling me, oh, I got to go. So I'm letting them know, like if they tell me, oh, yeah, I only have 30 minutes for my lunch, I go, great. Well, I got to be done about 25 minutes because I got another appointment. Because I'm busy. Even if I'm not busy, I'm busy.
You entice and withdraw. Gotcha. Yep. So you don't lie, you just leave shit out. So in reference to that, so let's just say that interview you just did with me or you did with Doris. And now the next step, would you fill out their IBA right now, or would you say, let's set up an appointment to get back with your husband, or would you want to meet with both of them first or one first, or how do you do that?
The answer is it depends. If Doris says I'm ready to go, she said I'm ready to go, and there's enough time, I'll get the IBA right there. But I will not get it without having a KT that night or within 24 hours, because she joins and you know what happens. She goes home, tells her husband, and she's out. So I need to, I'm not going to say, if someone here, here's my IBA, I'm not going to say no, but I'm not forcing it, especially if it's not too warm, you know?
It just, all you're doing is getting a friggin' IBA and you're wasting your time if it's not going to be a recruit, right?
Right now, if you, Keith, are with me and Doris is your friend and she goes, oh, wow, Keith's doing it, I can go to class with him and get licensed, I'll recruit her right there. It just really depends. It depends on the warmth of it.
Okay, so you're either going to recruit me right there, or you're going to get together that night or tomorrow within 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you recruit me right there, what's your next step? You don't get him off to a fast start, set up appointments, because you'll spend 6 hours with somebody. That's overkill. What's your next step?
So so let me follow. If I do the interview and I get another appointment, or I recruit him right there, which one?
Well, which one? You recruit them right there, and they say, I want an FNA. I want to come
Well,
on.
what I'll do is I'll get their IBA, I'll download the app, I'll say, great, we're meeting tonight with you and your husband, Doris, tonight. Can you meet tonight? So we meet tonight at...
I can't tonight.
Okay, can you meet tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, so if you can meet tomorrow, great. We meet, and what I do is I focus my time that I'm going to get there around 6 or 7, the latest. Because what I want to do is I want to meet the husband, do the presentation. I want him like this.
The presentation that you just did for her, you do a kitchen table.
It's the same presentation.
Got it.
If you notice at the end of my laminate, I said, what are you interested in? Work with me, being a client, or both? Mm-hmm. If that was an opposite, if that was a KT, let's say I'm sitting with husband and wife at that time, and they said both, if she's ready to go, I'll recruit her and do an FNA that night.
So that's basically the presentation you did one-on-one. It's no different than your kitchen table appointment.
Nope. Now, I know maybe this is an advanced talk, but if I'm sitting with a 19-year-old, I probably will not go into cash value and mutual funds. My presentation will be 10 minutes less because I'm not going to be, they're going to be lost on that. But I'll basically go through the 4-pager and the laminate, but not the writing stuff.
Yeah, just like if I sit down with you and your wife and you say you have no life insurance, I'm not going to spend an hour ripping apart cash value, right?
Correct.
If you have no debt, you don't spend a lot of time on the debt. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. And awesome. Is there anything else? You got to shoot, buddy. Is there anything else?
What I'm gonna do is, I know you recorded it. What I'm gonna do is, I actually, for my guys and for you, I'll send it too. I just spent, and my house manager helped me, spent about 5-6 hours putting everything I do on a PowerPoint. So it's nice and clean. So you just click and it writes down everything. 1977, click. 5,000 offices, click. So it makes it like seamless. So you just click. So if you're not good at writing and it's too much, just click. So I'll send that to you also. Okay. And then we can do this again, Keith, whenever I can sit down and we can go longer and do Q&A just on this whenever you want. It's just, there's more to it and you know that, but basically I have a number one thing, guys, I'll tell everybody, sense of urgency. Get with them now. If I'm meeting now, Zoom has made it really easier, a lot easier actually. But that's my thing. I have guys that do interviews and they don't do the follow-up for weeks. If I do an interview, I'm following up right now. If I get the referral, I'm calling it right now. So that's the biggest thing, Keith. Sense of urgency and be excited.
And if they're not interested, if I say, hey, listen, I don't think this is for me, I'm really not interested, do you then touch on referrals?
I even said that before. I said that a few times in the presentation. I go, if it's not for you, maybe you know somebody else, referrals. So I touch on it before, during, and after. Yep. And then I'll steam them at the end.
Awesome. You did this for us at our office in Bonita Springs. We're awesome. I was going to have you come up and fly you up to New York and do this for our school, but we were able to do this now so I can save the money on flights. It's really working out great. Hey, have a great day, buddy. Have a great op meeting.
Thank you, bro.
Stay well, bud. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.